When we do things like songs that are a little, what we call sexy. You can see from the title, it's more of a love album.
All right. Welcome to another week of Manifestations 2020. Oh man, it's so great. This week is a special week for us because we have entered officially the first week of Black History Month. As you guys know, it's a predominantly great month for us. If you are pro-Black, like myself and the fellas that's on here, my co-hosts, you're Black every day. You represent Black history 24/7, 365. We don't get a break from being Black, even though they give us 1 month to be Black. We are blackety, black all year round. All right. So
Ultra facts.
So we only use this month to really highlight our Blackness extra during this month. Just a refresher for all the people out there, the coons, the sambos, the sellouts, to really drill it in them, to show them how important and how glorious and predominant, creative, and ingenious that our ancestors were in the past. And we highlight them very much so this month, and all the great things they have done for us and society, because without the inventions that Black folks have created over the years, we would be lost to this day, you know. And we can go all the way back to the Moorish stage where, you know, they were deep into navigation and showing people how to charter across this whole world with waters without maps. They were going by basic channels and currents. Even to this day, where we had our ancestor, I want to call her our elder, she created the GPS system. Lord knows, without that system, boy, society would be in shambles.
Real
and that
talk.
was credited to a Black woman, you know, and we highlighted her before on our Queen Check because she did a phenomenal job, and her invention really changed. When they talk about change society, change the world, her invention changed the world. So we have so many great pioneers that don't get highlighted, you know, and that's one of the reasons why we do Crown Check, to highlight so many great people that's doing great things, but we don't control the media to show the vast majority of in the world the greatness that we have. And when we don't really share that information quite often, what we do is we leave the younger generation not knowing anything and thinking that all we are or were just slaves and people that are working workers who work long hours and not taking home anything or getting anything out of life. And when you do that, the children, they now grow up with a sense of no self-worth. They don't care about life. And you're seeing a lot of that is basically being visual right now, is because a lot of them, they don't realize how great they are, and the lineage that they come from is a great lineage. So it's very important that we, you know, constantly put this information in their head and show them that, you know, we have people that look like you that do phenomenal things, and you're no better than them, because you can come up with something right now, be creative, and change the world for the next generation after you. So it's imperative that we do that. We highlight our peoples 24/7. You just gotta be proud of who you are and the skin that you've been in. Regardless of what we go through, we have been adversaries to the point where we overcome everything that they throw at us, every obstacle, every trap, anything systemic racism has thrown at us, has tried to put us in. We found a way to come out and overcome it. We haven't gotten to the way of total dominance yet, because we have lost a lot of our way of being together with our unity and our code of conduct. And that's something that we have to work on. So we get back the mentality, and trust me, you're going to see that dominance reassure back in, just like the Mansa Musas and the Moorish Empire. All right. So with that being said, I don't want to go too heavy into it, but I definitely want to pass the mic over to both of my hosts and let them elaborate a little bit more on Black History Month before we proceed on.
Listen, man, Black History Month is everything. You know, I mean, it's the time of year where we get to have an excuse to be extra blackity black. You feel me? And I'm one of those people. I jump on it with everything I got. You know, I've been giving Black history facts all week. I've been, you know, trying to raise the awareness, you know, every chance I get. And, you know, this, like I said, it's just an excuse. You know what I mean? Like if you love somebody, Valentine's Day is an excuse to show off how much you love them. Same thing with Black History Month. So that's how I look at it. You know what I mean? And, you know, this particular topic, you know, is very relevant when you start talking about, you know, the idea of Black History Month, because a lot of people in the dominant society will come to black people and they'll kind of tokenize um, some random things, like say we're going to make Juneteenth a national holiday. We didn't ask for that. It's nice, you know what I'm saying, but we didn't ask for that. The ask was for tangible benefits. The ask was for reparations, or rather, the demand was for things that are going to profit us as a group, you know, in ways that you can't really measure, as opposed to giving us a symbolic, you know, nothing burger gesture that really doesn't mean much. You know what I mean? So I think that in the capacity of acknowledging Black History Month, we also need to understand who we need to take seriously, both from the dominant society and also when you start talking about other Black people that like to tokenize Black History Month and kind of use it as something fly to get them acknowledgement. And, you know, they're trying to floss it and try to make it into something trivial, you know what I mean? So that they can get likes and they're kind of pimping Black History Month. You know, the reason that history is important, we must never lose sight of. History is important so that you understand who you are in context, and so that you understand, you know, both the mistakes and the proper actions of yesterday, so that you can repeat the things that you did well and, you know, discontinue doing the things that you didn't do well. So, you know, we have to understand why history is important, you know, so that we understand our cultural identity and we know how to maneuver through society. And, you know, Black history over everything, because there is no history without Black history. We were the first people, you understand? So let's all keep our heads on straight and really hone in on what Black history is this Black History Month, and learn something and spread what we learn to our brothers and sisters out there, so that we can be in the proper frame of mind and of sound body, you know, to make the proper moves throughout the year. And just generally speaking, because right now what we're in dire need of is a major paradigm shift, so that we can get our code of conduct together, so that we can start to do the things that we need to do to move forth as a people. That's why we're here. That's why Black History Month is important. It's important. So let's go.
Definitely. Drake.
Absolutely. No, you guys said it best. February, Black History Month, at its best, it should only be a garnish, because this should be something that you live 24/7, 365, no days off, no union breaks, no bathroom stops, no rest stops. You eat this, talk this, eat this, sleep this, drink this, breathe this, be this.
Yeah.
So for us, those of us who have been on that wave, all this is just the highlight reel. This is, you know, we've been putting in the work. We've been playing the games the rest of the year, all the other days of the year, all the other months of the year. This is just simply ESPN Sports Center highlights. That's all. So you have some people who, unfortunately, just merely dusting off their bona fides and trying to go ahead and showcase how down they are now. They're doing some extra things. And I'll give the most minimal of credit. It's better than nothing whatsoever. But the problem is, if you're taking your marching orders from others, if you need other people to establish your holidays, your celebrations, your occasions, your moments, then really you're not actually celebrating or honoring whatever it is you're coming forward to. You're just being obedient. People told you this is your space, this is your lane, and you followed suit and you got where they told you to. They asked you to jump 3 inches. You made sure you jump 3 inches and not a centimeter more. You're simply obedient. Whether there was or wasn't a Black History Month, we should have been celebrating and revering our elders, our ancestors, our heroes, those from the past and present who were making a difference and moving the needle for us, and being optimistic regarding the future to come. That's why those of us, even though it's not necessarily formally recognized, you don't see any uh, specials on Hallmark Channel. You don't have any long parades out there in any major cities or whatever. But that's why many of us quietly celebrate Kwanzaa.
Mm.
And we do so, and we honor and we respect what it stands for, what it symbolizes, not because people told us to do it or because there is an official celebration given us, but because we recognize it's important for us to honor and to celebrate ourselves and what it all means. So, again, much love to all the family throughout the world for this Black History Month. But I want to reinforce that this should be a nonstop affair. And if that has not been true for you up to this point, I highly admonish you to go ahead and to course correct now. So as soon as February comes to an end and March touches upon us, don't let the momentum die out. Don't let that flame go out. Don't let that wind die down. If anything, turn it up a notch. Take it to the next level. Make March Black History Month. Make April Black History Month. Make
Yes.
every month of the year Black History Month. And even more important than Black History Month, make sure you're committing yourself to making sure there's a rich Black history future. Because it's not enough for us to just celebrate what happened in the past. We need to make sure that we're creating a better past for those of us that come forward. All the future is a result of what was done today in this moment. So today, commit to making yourself some Black history so that our descendants can look back and celebrate and revere us the way that we look back and celebrate and revere our ancestors. That's my
Well,
2.5.
well said.
Well said. Well said. So yes, as Manifestations, what we tried to do this year, we wanted to incorporate our brand with legendary days of Black History Month. So each day of Black History Month, we took one great out of many great things that happened in that day of the month and highlighted it on our page. So if you've been following us on the IG platform or on the Facebook platform, then you know that we have put out some images of Black History Month and the accomplishments that happened on that day during that month. From the first one, we want to show you Harriet Tubman. So Harriet Tubman, on February 1st, she actually was awarded to be placed on the stamp. So as you guys know, the history, the deep history of Harriet Tubman, this is a phenomenal sister. We have crowned her before on our show. What she did was just phenomenal. And a lot of your family lineage, when you trace back your lineage and your ancestors, you'll see that some of you guys were not, your family members weren't born into slavery because of this woman right here. So on February 1st, she was first Black woman to be honored on a stamp. What an iconic woman to choose to put on a stamp. So much respect to Harriet Tubman and all the work she has done. February 2nd, we had Alfred L. Carrel. If you guys don't know who Alfred L. Carrel is, you could definitely go back and dial into any of your sources to pull up the background of this phenomenal gentleman who is the inventor of the ice cream scoop. So all the people that love ice cream, if it wasn't for this Black man, you wouldn't be able to scoop out the ice cream, especially in those nice cylinder type balls that you see. His invention made it easier for you guys to do that out of a tub of ice cream. So whenever you scoop an ice cream, always think of Mr. Alfred and thanking him for his invention to make one of the most enjoyable treats, desserts, even more fun to enjoy because it has been a tool that made it easy for us to scoop out and eat. So much props to Mr. Alfred for having that phenomenal and ingenious thought to invent something that made our lives so much easier with phenomenal dessert. All right.
No doubt.
The next one is Bill White. A lot of people don't know who Bill White is. You know, we have so many great pioneers in our community, in our lineage, that we don't even highlight. So there's a lot of things that happen with a lot of people we know on February 3rd, but I pulled out Bill White for the simple fact that Bill White was a black first baseman, and he was the first black man to be the president of the National League. He played for the St. Louis Cardinals, and he got promoted into the presidential seat. First black man to do that. I thought that was phenomenal. A lot of people don't know who Bill White is, you know, so I thought that was a great way to try to this month to highlight a lot of people that people don't know of, because we always highlight the same ones, and we don't want our history to be so limited. So we want to pull out new people so you can research, and maybe you find something on Bill White that is super dope that you guys might want to report back to us. That's how history and research helps benefit ourselves and our community in order for us to move the needle forward for the next generation. So today is February 4th. As you know, Rosa Parks was born on February 4th. If it wasn't for Rosa Parks, we wouldn't have this legendary movement and the segregation of being in the back of the bus. I think she was a very intricate part into moving that forward. If you know the real history, it was a young girl who was she was a teenager. They didn't want to use her because of her age, and they end up using Rosa Parks really to push that movement forward, which you know, it doesn't really matter in a way who is the one to do it. It's who is going to get the tangible part of it done, meaning they're going to move it into a tangible way. So changes can be evoked, and definitely changes can basically be solidified so that the next generation don't have to go through what they went through. And Rosa Parks definitely did her job in that and getting everything pushed forward. So that way we are able to ride in the front of the bus and not always pushed in the back of the bus. All right. So definitely shout out to that little brief history moment each day. So every week that we come on, next week, we're going to go from the 5th all the way up to the 11th and show you guys all the things that happened, the great things that happened that day of February. So the whole month you're going to get great information, and we're going to try to supply information that is not really privy to everybody like that. Some new information if we can. If we can't find something on that day, we'll give you back something else that you already know. All right. So definitely. Remember, Black History Month also is a month that we want to patronize Black businesses. So shout out to the queen we had on here before from Sip and Scent Candle Bar. Remember, we have our coupon code is still in effect, and you're getting 20% off, which is really good because a lot of companies only give you 5% to 10%, and she ended up giving us 20%. So the coupon code is Manifestation 2020. All right. So when you go and you check out and you get all your good stuff and you get ready to go check out, it has a box that says coupon code. A lot of y'all be going online trying to see if you can scramble up some kind of coupon code on the internet, and you'll never find nothing that's activated. Finally, we have a coupon code that definitely, once you type our name in, you're definitely going to get the discounts on the dot. All right. So definitely check out Sip and Scent Candle Bar. Got a great lineup for men and women. Go patronize Black business, Black entrepreneurs. And if you remember her being on our show, she told you that the products and what she do is so much healthier for us. The benefits are so much great for us that it's even in your own interest to patronize Black entrepreneurs and business owners, because the products in itself come with delicacy, care, and research that are elements that are great for your body in the long run. All right. So shout out to the sister for doing such a great job. let's pour into her and make sure that she has a great month this month for Black History Month, so she could prosper and create more items for us later on down the road. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Look.
All right. So before we go on, real quick, we do want to say Ashe, Ashe. When we say Ashe, Ashe, we pay respects to our elders, our ancestors, leaders, legends, icons. We want to give an Ashe, Ashe moment to our brother who just passed away recently, and that is Mr. Carl Weathers. So, you know, Mr. Carl Weathers is very famous for Rocky and his movies. He passed away this year, and so sad, but you know, he gave us a great history. We're pretty much all in the same age bracket, so we grew up off of the Action Jackson, right?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies, you know what I'm saying? And that was the kind of movie I really, it made me not like what's her name so much because I was like, oh, why you had to go sleep with the white man and be a drug addict? And I was like, oh God. So Vanity, right? So Vanity was in it. Yeah. So I was a huge.
She heard us with that one.
I love Vanity, man. Vanity
was
my crush, yo.
That was everybody's childhood crush, man. Like,
yes, man. That you know, you talking about going from the Last Dragon with Bruce Leroy. She was in it, man. She was just all over in the 80s, man.
Yeah.
She was just that one woman you was like praying you get a woman like that growing up. So Action Jackson was one of my favorite movies. I loved his role in that and the great job he actually did in that movie. And as you guys know, he was Dylan in Predator. One of those iconic, that was another iconic movie that was just so dope, sci-fi, thriller, action, plenty of action, Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he brought that Negro, a kick-ass spirit on film.
Yeah.
It was just so sad to see him get killed by a Predator. Predator was running through everybody. So, you know, it was one of those big-time adversary that you just couldn't overcome. Arnold Schwarzenegger did, but, you know, he was the only lucky one to do that. And as you guys know, his legendary role as Apollo
Creed.
Yeah.
Apollo.
You know, as you remember, you are the one. You know what I'm saying? He had that legendary hat on. It was just so great because, you know, as a black man, you know, we have the dance moves. We like to look good when we do things. He was that suave, but he was nice in the ring with it. So he backed it up, kind of like Mayweather. You know, Mayweather does the same thing. He's cocky with it, but he does his thing in the ring. And Apollo Creed, before Mayweather was even into that level, before Mike Tyson was into that level, it was Apollo Creed that we were looking up to in that way, as that super black guy that really was putting in work and doing his thing and being victorious. So definitely want to say Ashe, Ashe to our brother Carl Weathers, and let you rest in power, our king. And thank you for all the memories and the great film that you have given us and the knowledge and the gems throughout the years.
Real talk.
Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Definitely.
Amazing, brother.
All right. All right. So, yeah, he was. He was. So, definitely want to get into our feature of tonight. Well, we want to get into our first topic of tonight, which is trending weekly topics. One of the trending topics that we've seen out tonight was basically, I thought it was a sad situation, but as you guys know, there is a famous, I want to say YouTuber, or I want to say content creator, reviewer, goes by the name of Keith Lee. What Keith Lee does is him and his family, he's a married man, has a beautiful wife, has children, and, you know, he's just so family oriented, God grounded. And what he does is he's gotten so big now that he started off just giving reviews on people's establishments. And when he gives a review, the next day or even that same hour, depending on what time it is, those people will have that business wrapped around the corner. Like this dude is like Messiah when it comes to that stuff. I've never seen anybody do that.
Mm.
We've had Hungry Black Man who does a phenomenal job, but I've never seen somebody take it to a Hungry Black Man to the 10th power, you know, and Keith Lee's done that. And he's such a blessing to a lot of these businesses because what Keith Lee brings is the same concept that we try to tell you, which is basically touching new people who have great history in the Black community. You know, our ancestors, a lot of the hidden gems, people that didn't even know that this person was actually responsible for doing this and highlighting that. So when you highlight them, now people are like, oh, no, I didn't know about this person. And now they get to research. And Keith Lee kind of brings that same concept because here you have a bunch of Black businesses that's not getting no notoriety. There's no media outlets on them. There's no papers being written on them. And here's a guy who says, you know what, I'm just going to go out here and see some of these Black businesses. And if they give them the review, if the review is good, then their business takes all the way off. I've seen a couple of businesses that he has done. They were saying they barely make $200 for the day. And as you know, for a business, $200 for the day is really not much because you got the lights, you have the employees. You know, that's not paying anybody's, that's just keeping the lights on, you know. And I've seen him go there, give a great review, and line wrapped around the corner. It got to one girl the next day, because like I said, hers was she didn't get no more than $300 a day. The next day, she was sold out by noon.
Wow. Wow.
She was sold out by noon. So when she was sold out by noon, she had to apologize to the people because the line was still out there. She had so much business, she didn't think that she was going to sell out like that. But you can't prepare because you're going from one extreme to the next. You see what I'm saying? When you're barely making it, you don't want to keep inventory because you don't want to throw away stuff. You know, and now she's to the level now she has to probably double up her orders, you know. So blessings to Keith Lee for what he has done and all the things he has, the lives he has touched, the blessings, the inspiration he's given to these young people that's looking up to him because he's such a great ray of light. And so I brought him up because recently he had an issue. He went to go visit this lady. Had a food truck. Her son was like, hey, if you're in the area, we know you're here. Just come by, come check us out. We got great food. You'll love it. And he said, you know what? I'll pop up and show up. And he popped up, showed up. The food was great. So they had a hair braider. They had a barber, everything like that. And he got there. He enjoyed it so much. He gave the lady $4,000. He said, charge $4,000 on my card. And also, I'm going to give you $800 and something to give the people out here free food, you know, up to $800, you know, worth of free food. And she took the $4,000 and, you know, she was crying. She was like, thank you, everything like that. And I think this is very important because a lot of people don't understand. When you have the universe, and this is something that whether you believe in God or not, right? The energy that's around, it goes in. And when you put energy into this world, it's the energy you get out of the world as well. So if I put in bad energy in this world, bad energy is going to boomerang back. If I put good energy out, good energy is going to boomerang back. That's just the natural elements of energy. Everything that you do operates in the field of energy. If you're breathing, energy. If you're running, energy. Your car, energy. Gas, energy. Electricity that we got on, energy. The whole root of what life is about is energy, the form of energy. So you got to be careful about energy being transferred to you in a good way and you bounce back in a bad way with that energy. So what do I mean by that? So we had the owner right here, is this lady. So this lady, they said in the somebody wrote up this part about what happened. So they said just might be the quickest grand opening and grand closing to date. Owner of Sweetly Seasoned was paid a visit by Keith Lee and was gifted a $2,000 tip for herself, $1,000 tip for a barber, $1,000 tip for the braider, and $860 to allow a nice line of customers to eat free. Not only did she end up keeping the other people's tips, she only allowed 3 customers to walk away with free food. She got dragged.
Hell no.
Now look, no business. And no business is correct because now, as you can see, Sweetly Seasoned Food Tailor and Catering permanently closed. But I did see her back in the food truck. So maybe she got a couple of people that's coming by. But it's not the heavy traffic she would have got if she had just put the energy back in to the people, to the workers, just like Keith Lee had put into her. But when they found out that she kept everything to herself, and the other people that found out what he did, and they was like, hey, we didn't get no money, and that made them kind of salty, and they went out and shared their side of the story, and that's what made people like, yo, I'm not patronizing anybody with that type of attitude or that type of mentality, because that's not a good look. When somebody bless you, you bless others, especially if that blessing doesn't even come out your pockets. You know, everything the blessings was already paid for. You know what I'm saying? There's no excuses behind that. So I definitely want to show this video because she doubled down on it. And the reason why I want to show this video, it goes into tonight's topic. And I definitely want to show you guys this video, and then we can get back into it. All right. So here's the video.
Him with me, because now you're helping me. You're shining on me. This man was not with me. He was only solely there because my son called him to cut my hair.
What?
Now, I would love to do the right thing. And I feel like I did do the right thing. Now, for her, and then I told her, on top of that, I didn't even have the money. He paid with a credit card. The money just hit the bank account today. I'm going to give my son what he deserves. And I would give her some, because she did market me that morning, but that's all she did. And I don't even know who he is. The barber, that's my son's head. He wasn't with me. Keith Lee, I heard he thought that they were my kids. They're not my kids. Those were my son friends. But this.
All right. So she
ended up doubling.
Yeah, doubling down even harder.
The splaining, god damn.
Yeah. So she doubled down even harder. So I want to just say this real quick, and then I hand it over to you guys. But why I say that is because tonight's show is about who to take seriously. And we're talking about the brothers tonight. So, you know, the future represents the low grade, low energy guys. Then you got Tyrese, that kind of is the guy scaling the fence when he wants to. And then you have Lorenz Tate, who's the upstanding guy with a family, wife, and everything like that. And your choices of women also plays a great role into your life. Whether you procreate with that woman, whether you live life with that woman, all of that plays a role. And remember, she has a son. So the guy who actually procreated with her end up procreating with a woman with that type of energy and spirit. So I want you guys to see how important it is to really break down and analyze and vet these people real good. And I can't wait till Major's book come out, because I think it's gonna be a great deal, because we have never poured into men before, especially our youth, and basically groomed them in a way to understanding that you deserve quality women, that you don't pick up any and anybody, you know, just like your parents tell you, don't pick up no stray cats or stray dogs. Don't do that,
Right.
because that comes with a lot of problems. You got to vet out stuff like that. And I just wanted to share that piece, and then I'll hand it over to you guys. I'll land my plane on that.
That video was heartbreaking, man. Like, oh my God. Like, the man gave you a $2,000 tip. You dig? And the blessings that you're going to get from this guy coming to your establishment are going to more than pay for themselves. You know, you got to play the long game. And even more importantly, you got to just do what's right. He gave, in addition to the $2,000 tip he gave you, he gave you $1,000 tip for the barber. Doesn't matter if that was your son or not. And for who was it? The hair braider, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if that was your daughter or not. Doesn't matter. You understand what I'm saying? You go find those people and give them the money that they were intended to get. Period.
Yeah.
You don't come online later on, niggas explaining, making excuses, all this BS. Bruh, just do what's right. You already been blessed 1,000 times over. And like you said, and you know, this is about energy. You know, her energy is off. Her energy is warped. You know, even the way she came on the live, I just didn't like her energy. You know, and that's going to shoot you in the foot every time. This was an alley-oop. You didn't have to do much. Just keep on doing what you're doing. And if you, I mean, if she does this another way and she goes ahead and she talks about how, oh, this man gave me a $2,000 tip. Damn, he tipped up $2,000. That food must be good. I'm going to run down there. You dig? Then he gave me another $1,000 to tip the braider and the person who was cutting hair. Man, that's a good brother. We gonna support the hell out of this. This place must be everything. They would have, man, that shit would have been shut down. There would have been so much business in there. She would have been able to keep the doors open. She would have made that money over 10 times.
Correct.
But the mentality of greed and, you know, just me, I, now. Instead of playing the long game, having some foresight to see where this can go. I mean, that's just incredibly short-sighted and very sad. I really, really feel bad that sister handled it like that because she really missed an opportunity. How long between when the internet said that the place was shut down and when that initially happened? Do you know?
I don't know the exact date, but it wasn't that too far. It wasn't that too far behind because remember that day was the grand opening. That's why they had the hair braider there. And they had the barber there as part of, you know, the whole celebration of getting everybody to come in and the one-stop shop type thing. So I would say that they had it up, you know, when you do, because I had a restaurant and invested in a restaurant. And when we did the grand opening, we already had it open for like a week or two before the grand opening. So it kind of is like a little pre-run. And then you get everything, you know, pretty much on the line of how you're doing things. And then now you could grand open it to everybody and say, hey, come in, we're ready to take on everything because we worked out the kinks and the little things during the pre-run before grand opening. So I think they were doing that. I think she was doing that at the food truck. A lot of people were coming around and was like, yo, there's some good stuff, getting great reviews. So then they said, you know what, let's do the grand opening. And then when they found out Keith Lee was down here, they said, hey, come by. That's probably what lured him because they said this is like a grand opening. So he was like, all right, cool. And then, you know, that's also probably why he gave so much money because he wanted to invest in it. You know, grand opening, like, oh, shoot, I want to make sure you guys keep going and keep doing your thing. So he blessed them in that way. And for you to do that. So I would say about a couple of days afterwards.
The only thing that she should be making videos for is to apologize and say that she made things right, period. You know, this goes back to accountability, you know. Unfortunately, we got a lot of people out here that have a serious problem with accountability, man, and that's going to block your blessings. You know, she needs to be making a video, hey, my bad. I handled this wrong. I apologize. I invite everybody down, to first 50 people, because she got the money. First 50 people to come down, you free food on us. We welcome y'all in. I still would like to see that business succeed. But sister and others out there, y'all gotta stop doing this dusty shit, man. That was dusty. That was real dusty. It was just totally unnecessary. You got the damn blessing, and you just snatched defeat from the jaws of victory, man. Like, really? Come on, bruh. Yeah, that was painful to listen to, but it is what it is. It's all kinds out there, man. I'll land my plane. That's crazy.
Drake.
You know, at some point, I'm going to need us to get to a point where we divorce ourselves of a survival scarcity mindset. Because that's what this is. You have a business that's popping off. You're able to get the biggest food critic right now. He's the most popping right now. Dude literally is oxygen made flesh for entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Dude comes through, you're gonna be at a different level if you on point. Now, he's very fair. If you slacking, he's not gonna hold back any punches. He's gonna say what it is. But if you come correct and if you do what you're supposed to do, he's definitely gonna go ahead and give props. And part of the reason why he has that effect is because his reviews are so transparent, so honest. There's no political correctness about it. He lets it be known exactly what is and what isn't. And because of that, people trust him, which means that if he goes ahead and says that your business is on point, it must be that, because he doesn't give that to everybody, which means you're only going to be at that different level. So the blessing comes from that scrutiny and being able to pass the mustard. So he already gave her the thumbs up. She was cool. That was not going to be the first, that wasn't going to be the last $2,000 tip day or whatever that they were going to see. There was going to be plenty more of that to come if they kept on handling business properly. But because in her scarcity mindset, in her survival mode, she saw the money right there on the table, those survivor instincts kicked in and said, take this now, because we don't know if or when we're going to see it again. Correct. And as a result, she pulled a whole entire 12 gauge out the closet and shot herself right in both of her feet, both foots. Mm-hmm. Because now you've shown that you can't be trusted. And even if your food is good, the way you handle your business, the way you run your business, the way you treat your workers, the people that labor with you, nobody wants to support that and be a part of that. Doesn't matter how good your food is. I had an extended conversation with a coworker a month ago. I was waiting for some things to update, do some service for her, and while we were waiting, we just chewing the fat, just talking, chopping up. And she's in finance, and she let me know that before she was where she currently is, she used to have a business with her husband where they had a restaurant themselves, funny enough. And she said that she made it a point that her and her husband, that they did above and beyond for their workers. They paid their workers an actually livable wage, not something where you're going to be out here scrimping for pennies here and there, but they paid their workers an enviable wage. They weren't snitching with the breaks and with the time. They gave them benefits and everything else. They gave them a whole bunch of things that you could only dream about having if you work in the restaurant industry, because anyone who's worked in the restaurant business, in the restaurant industry, you know that the pay isn't very good. Basically, your hope is that you get compensated in tips. You get paid chump change, and you hope that tips is what's going to carry you through. Not much in the way of vacation time, benefits, 401k, all the other stuff, but they took care of their employees. They were in business for about 8 to 9 years. And she said that during that time span, they had other people who knew their business model, who were successful themselves, and saying, well, how can you afford to do that? You can make a whole lot more money if you cut on this, that, and third. They're like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to undercut and hobble the people we depend on for our business to succeed just for us to get ahead further. And as a result, she said, to this day, and she said that was about I think she said 12 years ago. She's older. She said to this day, been out the business for over a decade, to this day, they still get calls from former employees. They still have that relationship. Said that they got invited to a baby shower for one of their employees about 5 years ago.
Wow.
And again, been out the business. Every now and then, the workers call, hey, how you doing, Miss So-and-so? How you guys doing? They catch up and everything. Hey, are you guys opening up into the business? Or are you guys looking to start the restaurant again? Whatever, if you do, just give me a call, whatever. They still want to work for them because they established this track record of being fair, being just, and looking out for their employees. Their employers know that you're not going to go ahead and try to shortchange them or get one over on them. And as a result, they want to work for you. That's going to boost their productivity levels because now they actually feel invested in this business. They're not going to go ahead and be lazy and be on their phones and all this stuff in the cut when they should be working. They're not going to be giving your customers attitude. Welcome to such and such. What the hell you want? All right, give it 3, 4, 5, 6. Blah, blah. Ain't gonna be none of that stuff that you typically have a customer at because they actually feel a part of this. You've created an atmosphere where this is no longer just a work environment where people clock in, clock out. This is a family. They want you to succeed. They want you to be successful because you've shown them that you have love and care for them. You're not going to get that in that kind of environment. So to be honest, them doors closing, even if the food is good, more than likely it probably wouldn't be for long because if that's how you treat your employees, the people that are working for you, making your food, dealing with your customers, basically the hands and feet of your business, odds of the quality of service was going to go down anyways. You're not going to be able to retain the best cooks. You're not going to have the best cashiers or the best people manning the register. You're going to have people there who basically they can't find anything else. People who really would do anything but be there. They're not concerned. They're not interested. The minute they think there's a chance of something better, they're going to go anyways. Because you've proven that you are not someone worth them investing in. Your little paycheck ain't enough. And God forbid someone actually comes through and shows love, you're going to snatch it up from them too. So I don't necessarily say I want to see this sister fail. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
But I will say that so long as this is her mindset and attitude, and she doesn't have the humility and the grace to say, you know what, I messed up. This is wrong. I need to change and get right. Then in that case, I hope you don't earn a single crumb. And I hope the minute you have an about face to come to Jesus moment, I hope that at that moment that you start to become profitable once again because you need to learn. And it's not right to do that to people. These are human beings. That was a huge blessing for them. That made their day, I'm sure, to find out that, wow, I've never had a tip this big before. This is amazing. This is incredible. And you just completely came in what should have been a highlight in their career. You came and punched them dead in the nuts, dead in the ovaries. Nah. No love for that whatsoever.
And I think what a lot of people don't understand is that when people move out of whatever moves them, I know Keith Lee he says he moves out of the love of God, and God moves him in ways that, he don't question. He just feels like, when he gets that notion to do something, he just does it. And sometimes, we all got to understand the laws of the laws of 6 degrees of separation. So when you're dealing with somebody like God who uses Keith Lee to get to this guy and the son and the mother to get to the braider and the barber. So a lot of times you don't even know that the blessings were filtered down to really get to who it was for. Maybe him going there was for the barber or the braider because maybe their prayers for God to do something today, because they might have been in a financial bind that blessing might have took them out of. So
So
that's why they say people block blessings. Sometimes you don't even block your own blessing, you blocking somebody else's blessing. So that right there, by you doing that, and now you're getting this black backlash, and it becomes financially a damage to you because you actually probably blocked the blessing from God to the hair braider or the barber, and that was you. He was using Keith Lee because we're all vessels, and we don't know when we're going to get used for his needs, and probably he got moved over that way for these two because of their private prayers to God. When you look at it in that direction, in that way. So that could have been something we don't even know. I know the hair braider came out and said, but I don't know if she ever went into details about, if she really needed the money or if she had like prayed about some money coming to her or felt some money was coming to her. And that $1,000 would have definitely put her over the hump of her whatever situation she was in, probably needed that. Her or the barber. We don't never know. So you have to take those things into consideration. Sometimes the blessings come down and they're not for you, and let them funnel through you to get to who they need to get to, because it's a greater power that came about those blessings. So that's just a life lesson moving forward that I think a lot of people should be mindful and think about, because everything in life is about perspectives. And the more perspectives and the way you look at things, you can analyze and see things a little bit better and realize that sometimes things aren't for you. It's really meant for somebody else. They're just using you to get to who it's meant for,
Yeah.
So definitely. Like I said, Bobby Jake was saying, hopefully she gets to her moment of accountability and turn things around. Hey, you can, one thing about life is you can always change it. It's never too late to change. You get a hit that way and you change it. And next thing you know, your life is just smooth sailing from there on, because you know that you got hit that way. And you're like, yo, I can never go back down this path again. And you end up changing you for a better person. So maybe she needed to get this wake-up call that we want to call it. All right. I know we're going to get into a lot of people have been talking about how brainwashing programming is not as powerful. And I think people don't understand how powerful it really is that we take lightly. A lot of times, and I know Major does this a lot, Major will get out here and check people on worshiping or passing something that is super important to stop, and people that are out here trying to pacify it or make light of it, and Major check it and be like, nah, that's not something you're supposed to take lightly, and that's not the behavior you need to carry on or support. And when we say that, people always, we get the backlash because people say, oh, we're judging, oh, it's not that serious, people got a mind of their own, and it's not going to be problematic, and all this other stuff that they just throw out there as just deflection from taking accountability of how things so minute can grow into something so big. And I want to highlight that a lot of times people take celebrity worshiping very minute, but they don't understand that these people go above and beyond and worship these people to a level that you would never think would be even possible, right? So there is a post that somebody made, and they said, tattoos are so unladylike. Y'all look like thugs, right? So I saw that, and then I saw immediately after I saw that in my timeline, I started to see this.
Lord.
Right? So Krishan Rock reacts to losing over 300K followers from the moment she revealed her blue face tattoo. She came out and instead she just started deflecting, right? She came out and said, the more y'all hate, the more popular I become. I don't give a F about losing followers. I get paid off my engagement, my algorithm. If I'm getting 60 plus million views on my post, 400K plus comments, my promo prices just goes up, or anything I sell stay sold out. So continue their hate train. It makes me hella money. And she got this tattoo. It's been circling around, and everybody just laughs about it. And they don't say anything. And nobody's out here saying, hey, women, we need you to not do this. Like, you're worth more than branding yourself. This is what pimps used to do to their hoes or traffickers that do human trafficking and child trafficking. They tattoo their victims as well. They mark them up. One of the most notorious child to ever get trafficked down here in the state of Florida has been under my supervision for the last 4 years. And they tattooed her up like that. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't understand that, that's some demonic stuff. That's what people who don't have intentions about you or even look down on you and think of you in a lesser spirit, that's what they do. They want you to tattoo their name on, brand them up. That's claiming ownership. So when that happened, weeks later, we start seeing this, right? So you got this woman, she tattooed her dude on her cheek. Then you start seeing this. This one,
I just saw that announcement today.
Is a woman who tattooed her dude, and her dude is locked up because hers say free mine. Wow. Then you got one that did this. You know what I'm saying? So now we're seeing a bunch of these women who are just out here tattooing their faces up as a trend. We're going to see a lot more women with tattoos on their faces. And now we're going to start seeing a lot more women with image tattoos on their faces. There's nothing, like the fella said, there's nothing attractive about tattoos, especially on women. There's nothing attractive about that.
It's no lie, bro. God, that's, it's interesting that, people always tell us, right? Well, maybe it's you, and, maybe the women are out there and they're just sugar and spice and everything nice, and it's just you. And, there's nothing wrong with the dating pool. It might just be you. And interestingly enough, maybe it is kind of me. Or was kind of me a little bit, because shit like that was an instant deal breaker. I don't give a damn how attractive you were. I don't give a damn how bad your body was, how sweet the tone in your voice was, how sexy you walk, whatever it is. If you got maybe if you got a tiny tattoo, a little girly tattoo, 2 was like my max.
Yeah.
More than 2 tattoos, you're done. Like there's no need for us to even conversate or converse. Yeah, conversate is not a word. There's no reason for us to even converse because, by the way, for all y'all black folks out there, conversate is not a word. We say it, but it's not a word.
Yeah.
I just had to throw that out there. Yeah. Because it's just very unladylike to me. It's not feminine. Like you say, it's not. Women find it attractive on guys. It kind of has a guy connotation to it. People don't even understand. People didn't even have tattoos like that before Tupac came out. Nobody had tattoos before Tupac came out. People don't even understand that. They just see it as like, oh, everybody got a tattoo. Ooh, let me get one too. Nobody had tattoos at all. Men, women, cats, dogs, nobody had tattoos. When Tupac came out and he had the thug-like thing popping and he was just Tupac, right? everybody want to start getting tattoos. And I'm not necessarily banging on tattoos, but like you said, when you see them on women, it's kind of an instant turnoff. And there are a lot of little things like that where there were decent women that were cool, but they just had these little things that were just deal breakers. I don't think a lot of women really understand that guys have those little things that are just deal breakers. Tattoos was a big one for me. It was hard because now monkey see, monkey do. Nobody has a mind of their own. Everybody sees other people with tattoos, so they run out and get tattoos. So you got a whole generation of women running around with tattoos, and they're not even stopping to think of how that brings their property value down as far as their body is concerned in the eyes of a lot of would-be prospective suitors. Now, Chrisean Rock, that's just a whole other level. You know, of course, she's going to call it hate. She has the mind of a third grader, you know, but like that, I put up a post earlier in the week talking about how not only is it celebrity worship, but we're standing around watching people with their mental illness on full display.
Yes.
Nobody's saying nothing, man.
Yeah.
That's not normal. That's sick. You're mutilating yourself. You understand? You got this big old tattoo with this dude who's treated you horribly, by the way. He wouldn't marry somebody else, by the way. He don't love you like that, by the way. But she's so obsessed with this man. And she worships him, by the way, which is not healthy. Then you got people, the picture I put up, because when I went, all these things, when I see crazy stuff, even if it's Chrisean Rock, I go to the page just to verify this really happened, because people just be making shit up, right? I went to the page. I was heartbroken, first of all. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw the initial thing that I saw, they showed a picture of Chrisean before, which was the back in the day picture.
Yeah,
of her.
man.
Yeah.
And then they showed a picture of her now. And it's like, dude, it's just heartbreaking to see how this young lady, the decline is real.
Yeah.
So she was a very lovely sister. You know, she didn't look like a hood rat in any capacity. You understand what I'm saying? You would never think that the type of attitude that comes out of her would come out of her just from looking at an old picture of her and not knowing who she was. And so when I saw those two pictures juxtaposed to one another, it just kind of hit me, you know, just how real the destruction is. The destruction that people experience on a personal level. She is entirely defeated. She is destroyed as a person, you know, and my heart really goes out to her. I feel sorry for her more than anything.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, normally when somebody embraces hood rat culture or whatever, it's more of an anger feeling towards them. But I guess because she's so young, you know, I feel like she never really had a chance or something. You know, I really feel that way. And with her, it just feels more like something you should feel saddened about. I mean, it's all something you should be saddened about. But like for you to mutilate yourself like that over this guy, you know, who ain't even with you, who don't even rock with you like that. And then the post that I put up had the picture of, you know, her with the tattoo, and then below it, one of the women commented, it's always some idiot that's gonna comment. This fool, y'all act like y'all ain't never been in love before. Y'all need to leave her alone.
Oh Lord.
What? So then wait. You got a tattoo, a whole permanent, I mean, palm-sized picture of a man on your face. You love? That's what we're doing? I mean, the level of stupidity is just breathtaking. You know, and you had so many women in the comments supporting what she did. Like, that was cool. It was normal. There's nothing wrong with it. We the ones tripping.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised to see some of these other bird brains go out and do the same thing. I worry about their children because, I mean, that's somebody's mother.
Sadly.
That's somebody's mother. In some cases, somebody's grandmother. If we keep it in a buck,
Yeah.
doing this dumb shit. And so it really is concerning to me more so than anything because I see the damage. I'm thinking about these things in a larger context now. This fool is somebody's mother. This fool is somebody's parole officer. You know what I'm saying? Got this big old tattoo on her face. It just is scary that these are the people we got to deal with in day-to-day life that ain't got no more damn sense to the billy goat. But that's what it is, that this would catch on as a trend of all things. This would catch on as a trend, and you're starting to see it every other day now. That's scary.
Yeah.
You're right. Absolutely right.
Bobby, what you got? Yeah.
What I got is a migraine. That's what I got. I got a migraine and a back order for a headache.
That's heavy.
There's something about the memorialization of pain that has just become popular over the years. And I know that the science has shifted to some extent on this. Unfortunately, that's more a result of caving and giving in to society now. And there is some legitimacy to it because things have gotten more to a point where it's being done for popular purposes as opposed to symbolic reasons. But that doesn't negate the fact that it's still being done largely for this purpose, and people are simply giving into the relaxed positions on it now. But for the longest period of time, and still, tattooing was a sign of trauma, unresolved trauma. And in fact, in a lot of cases, people who get tattoos, and again, like I said, that's not necessarily a hard and fast rule today because of how it's been popularized. But still, because it's not as if those people who it applies to have just disappeared or vanished. They're still there and they're still doing it for the same reasons. But for a lot of people, tattooing is a type of a cheat way of getting therapy. And it's not even therapy because it doesn't actually fix the problem. You can do something to vent and release, but ultimately, venting is nothing more than masturbation. You just have this outburst, and you feel good for 5 or 10 seconds, and then you're right back to the state you were in before. Nothing actually changed, but damn, it felt good to say that you did something. And a lot of these people start getting tattoos once they reach a certain critical mass of trauma and damaged issues. Case in point, look at a Kristan Rock. Even if she didn't have the tattoos all over, let's say that she had completely clean skin, pure as the freshly driven snow, nothing on her whatsoever, no marks at all. Is there anyone right now who would actually put up 6 figures gambling on her mental stability?
Hell no.
I'm not talking about people caping. Leave that girl alone. You don't know what she. Sure, she. No. I'm talking about putting your money where your mouth is. Putting a mortgage note where your mouth is. Is there anyone out there that would take a bet onto whether or not she is mentally stable or not, and would actually put the money on black, put the money on stable? You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it.
No way.
And when you look at these other women who've gone ahead and followed suit like good puppets, anyone willing to gamble similarly on them? No. There is something cathartic, and there's a because pain is funny. Again, pain is something that you have to confront head on. Dealing with issues, period, is a hallmark of adulthood, maturity, and responsibility. There's a wonderful post that I shared on IG the other day where it was this little infographic of kind of like a potato-shaped mountain, and it kind of had like a line inside kind of dividing it, sort of. So if you looked at the whole thing, it was like a giant kind of mountain, and then inside it was kind of like a slope or like a little dip in that kind of curved upwards. And it showed a stick figure on the outer portion walking up the mountain, and then on the top of the mountain, and then showed another stick figure kind of sliding down the path that had opened up, and then again trying to reach up to the top of the little overhang there of the cave. And it said, making hard decisions will lead you to an easy life, but making easy decisions will take you to a harder life. A lot of people, rather than go and do the difficult task of looking within self and doing the self work, going to therapy if that's an option for them, if they have the resource to do so, or doing something constructive, confronting your issues, tackling them head on. For a lot of people, that is simply too hard. It's too scary. It's too intimidating. They are unwilling or unable to do it, and so they will look to find cheat ways of dealing with the issue because, you know, the issues demand action. You can't just sit there in the dark. They'll swallow you whole. So a lot of people will turn to drinking, alcohol addictions, narcotic addictions. They'll turn to sex addictions. People don't like to talk about that one. They'll turn to all kinds of body modification. They'll go ahead and get tatted all the way up. They have a bajillion different piercings all over them. They'll even do physical body modifications. You see in some areas of society, they do things like splitting their tongues or their lips or whatever, or the clefts of the nose, whatever. They'll get their eyes tattooed and all kind of wild outside the woodworks things. And the funny thing is, if you talk to these people, they will all say the same thing as if someone handed them a pamphlet the day they went to go and get all these things done. They'll say, I'm just expressing myself. I'm just expressing myself. And you know what? They are expressing themselves. They're expressing issues. Unresolved, unhealed damage that is racked up. Now, again, this isn't every single last one because we do have pop culture to look to with the influence of this and the prevalence of it. But to a large extent, it's still the same people getting this work done. It's just that the social stigmas and the barrier for entry has been dropped now because it's popular, because Krishan Rock is doing it. Blueface is doing it. So-and-so is doing it.
Right.
So we have to look at these things and be mindful of what message we're putting out there. So what we're saying is, for those people who may not fall into this camp, who may not fit this mold, being mindful of what you're doing and the message that you're putting out there, the message that you're giving off. Now, if you don't mind these stigmas and the significance of these things that come along with it, by all means, go ahead. It's your life. It's your world. Do what you do. But understand that there are consequences and repercussions that stem from these things. And you have to be willing to go ahead and fess up to that. So if a sister out here is looking to go ahead and get herself tatted up because this is that important to her, this is something that she feels driven to do, she simply must do this, it's a calling that's in place in her life, more power to you. And I mean that. However, if your decision, because you made a value call and determined this is part of your value system, if your decision precludes you from access to certain men that you would otherwise desire to be with, quality men, men who have these sorts of standards, you can't be mad at those men because they too are making value decisions the same way you did.
Real talk.
And just because your value system clashed with theirs doesn't make them bad. It means that you're not compatible.
Right.
And if this is something that's going to be a major issue for you, then you need to, again, weigh that in the balance. Is it worth this? Is getting a butterfly on my arm with a lazy eye and a nasty case of gout in the left foot, is that really worth missing out on potentially the man of my dreams, the father for my child, that I'm the man that I want my son to be like, and I would love for my daughter to go ahead and pursue? Is this the kind of thing that you really willing to sacrifice on?
Not only that, Bob,
decisions.
Not only that, Bob, let me just add this in. Missing out on the man and missing out on a shit ton of opportunities.
That's another thing.
Man, people gonna look at you like you got three heads. You ain't gonna get some jobs. You ain't if you
All
want to
those
be,
sisters, I hope they go be famous, because if not,
bruh,
it's
you
gonna be
ain't.
tough.
It's a wrap. It's certain places you will never get in, and you gonna
Yeah.
pigeonhole yourself. Let's say you're a stripper, right? You know, and I'm not trying to go at strippers, but I'm just giving you the reality of what it is. You know, a lot of strippers, they like to give you that line, oh, you know, I'm just doing this to pay my tuition, whatever, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Once you do pay your tuition and you want to get off the pole and you want to go out into corporate America, who do you think hiring you with that shit on your face? And we can go ahead and we can add in with that, along with that, all these disastrous looking styles that for whatever reason have become popularized. You got the fuchsia and turquoise colored hair. You know what I'm saying? You got like we say, the face tattoos. You got the 10 pounds of makeup, the drag queen eyelashes. Man, these exaggerated ass looks, bruh. You taking food out your own mouth. When people look at you, they're gonna be like, yo, I can't hire this person. What the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, look,
Imagine all the work that people have poured into cracking and shattering these glass ceilings and
right.
busting down these barriers that have
Mhm.
precluded people from entry.
Yeah.
Only for you to go ahead and get your little Bob the Builder toolkit.
Jesus.
This glass ceiling has been shattered. Can't we fix it? Yes, we can.
Yeah.
And you just go ahead and you welding all the stuff back in place, and now there's a nice little ceiling right in your head. You can't get no further than this.
It's
Self-inflicted
insane.
gunshot wounds.
And look, I'm not here to advocate for nobody doing that. I'm not here to advocate saying that they shouldn't give jobs and opportunities to people, you know, based, you know, who look a certain way or whatever the case may be. Look, I that's not what I'm saying. I am saying this as a person who understands that they do. You understand what I'm saying? And you walking right into the trap.
Yeah.
How that work? That's just not a good look. It's not favorable, man. Like, less is more. Less is more.
Correct.
Trust me on that. You feel me?
I
Yeah.
totally agree. Less is more. And you know, fellas, we gotta start raising the bar heavy, because somebody's giving these women loving, you know, and you gotta know your worth by sometimes saying, you know what, I'm not trying to rack up body counts. I'm gonna give my soul pole to the worthy woman that I feel is worthy to embrace and enjoy my soul pole. You know,
Mhm.
but we're just out here giving our stuff away just to do it, just to say we're doing it. And a
Mhm.
lot of times when you do that, you have problems and issues. But
Right.
I love the fact that a lot of guys are understanding their worth. And a
Yeah.
lot of guys, like these women will approach some of these guys who know their worth
Mm-hmm.
and won't even budge or put them in their place so bad that the
Mm-hmm.
next time they'll think twice about approaching a guy like that.
That's
And
real.
I want to bring up something before I go right into the video,
Yeah.
but I want to show you this part. Let's see if I can find it right here real quick. But it goes into basically what I'm about to show you guys. So our boy, who is phenomenally dope, Waka Flocka, flamed the not female for telling him things a woman is supposed to do. You to order out there, go left. So he dismissed her
Mm.
because of this. And I want you guys to pay attention. Fellas, take notes. You got to raise the bar. You want better women? Stop giving low energy women the time of day.
Real
No
talk.
sex, no energy. Don't take no phone number. If anything, just give them some tools or books to read and say, hey, I advise you to read such and such book, or do something. Hey, you know, you should invest in this or do this. Give them some knowledge and some tips. Hopefully they'll grow from it and let them find somebody else. after they grow, and then they could be a better match, hopefully for somebody else. But I want you guys to pay attention to this, right? So pay attention to this.
Go.
Seduce a nigga with you all, huh?
I am real seductive.
You are.
I back, I swallow.
Oh hell no, go ahead.
Yeah? Wait. So
You two out there. Go.
wait, I'm 20. I'm
Hey.
29
No, you out.
with a degree.
Hey, look.
Massage therapist,
Sweetheart,
fuck back, swallow. I do it. You don't like when a girl fuck you good, suck you good, cook for you, clean for you, massage you, love you, beat her for you.
What you telling me shit a woman's supposed to do, not something you're supposed to get credited for doing. But again, right, you so in the open with it.
Like I'm just being real. Like I do it
That
all.
ain't being real to me. Being real to me is finding out who a nigga is before you open up like that to you. Go left.
Okay.
All
Man.
right?
My
So
man.
wise words.
The
Wise
game
words
needs
from wise
that.
prophet.
The
Yeah.
game needs that. That's me. That's me right there. Look, bro.
What?
I remember back in the day, this little squad used to hang out in the club with us. I ran into her a little later in life, right? And she was one of these chicks that she used to like me. I could tell she liked me, but she was a little too young, and like I just don't get down like that, right? And like she used to always low key be trying to holler this, that, and the third. I used to always check on her because I kind of looked at her like my little sister. Nice girl, you know, but she's in this club. I don't know if y'all remember this club, Nouveau, over there in West Dixie.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was that kind of vibe. I was there because
way back in the day.
I was there because I was a rapper promoting my music, right? And this one particular girl, it was so funny. We had a conversation. Unfortunately, like I said, she was a little too out there. Not out there like that, but just out there with herself and like the people she was rolling with. You know, she messed around and got involved with the wrong people. She was just getting a ride home. This dude got pulled over. He has some shit in the trunk, and that was it. She ended up going to jail. You understand what I'm saying? She got a felony on her record to this day. Sweetest girl you ever want to meet. You understand what I'm saying? But to speak to his point, you know, this same girl, we had a conversation a little later, a few years later. She was like, yeah, I remember you. You always used to be in the back of the club acting. This was the funniest shit I ever heard. Acting Sadiddy. I don't know if I've ever been referred to as Sadiddy.
Yeah, I've heard similar to me.
That's
Bruh.
Yeah.
Yo,
It's a hell of an adjective.
she hit me up with the Sadiddy. I was like, and I explained to her,
Okay.
nah, it wasn't that. But I said to her, look at your situation, right? And how you ended up getting cased up and you was just innocent. You was getting a ride home. You understand? It's not that I was being Sadiddy. I was surveying the spot. It was a very dangerous spot.
Oh yeah.
I observe people. I'm going in the club. You know, they pat us all down before we go in. It's a very dangerous club. Shit used to always pop off there.
Yeah.
This was the night that we was performing and Ball Greasy was performing. It was the same night. And dude, we patting down. They patted us down. And right before they patted us down, the dude in front of us, they took him out the line. We watching what's going on. Because we at the door waiting for the rest of our people to come. We watching what's going on. They pulled a damn hook, a meat hook, out of this nigga's shirt. I'm like, God damn, like, yo, it was like that. A meat hook.
What in the I know what you did last summer is really going on.
So,
this man brought Halloween Horror Nights to the club.
Real talk, bro.
No, but that club was
in real time. I'm watching it in line, and even some of the it was times when it was females in there that wanted to fight her. I had to check them. Hey, that's my little partner right there on rock. You know what I'm saying? She good, she cool, because she was real pretty. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't fat, none of that shit. She was real pretty. She used to kind of keep to herself, but she was trying to fit in. You know what I'm saying? And that's always been me. That's why I used to be in the back of the club acting Sadiddy, because I never try to fit in. Fuck your fitting in. You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling. I'm minding my business. I'm doing me. And
it's their own business.
Exactly. Me not trying to fit in kept me out of a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
And it enabled me to observe. See, you here having fun. I'm here working. I watch people when they move in and how people react to them. I know, okay, that dude right there, that dude is somebody. Okay, I might need to talk to him before I leave. You know, just based on the way people are interacting with him. But other people don't see this stuff because they're too busy getting drunk, having fun, being loose, being free, or whatever. But that right there, I've done that to so many females, and they like, damn, you know, why I can't get a chance? Why? Because you two out there. And right now, in society today, that is the number 1, 2, and 3 problem with females.
Yeah.
They're out there. They're too out there. The night that I met my wife can tell you, I walked in the club. I'm walking around minding my business, just doing me, and some hood rat jumps out on the dance floor in front of me and just starts twerking in front of me. Like I'm just walking, and she just walks. She just steps out in front of me and bends her ass over and starts pushing her ass back on me. And I pushed her to the side. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? I'm just
you had Dave Chappelle on her?
I'm just, I sexually assaulted me in the damn club. I'm like, dude, I didn't come here for this. I don't know you like that, miss.
The club was in slow-mo that night.
And that's the problem with these females, and they don't understand why they're not getting the respect that they feel they should get. It's because of shit like that. Any chick who at hello is telling you I suck and I swallow and I do this and I eat your asshole. Bitch, no. We don't need to hear that at hello. Slow your roll a little bit. Have some self-respect is what he was really telling her. I hope she got the game. Because that right there, to me, that screams walking STD. That's what I hear when I hear a female talk like that. And I can tell you, especially in Miami, they're a dime a dozen that talk like that when you first meet them. Then when she saw that wasn't working, she pivots to start talking about how she got her degree and she got it.
Yeah.
How many times we got to tell these women that shit don't matter in a dating capacity? That's not what, those are not the things that you need to be selling yourself on, little mama. What you doing? Bruh, this shit be hard to watch sometimes. You know, and this is, again, the result of there being no fathers in the home. You know, this is why we need nuclear families, because no little girl raised by her father is going to go promoting herself to a man like that. If her father's worth a damn, that's never going to happen.
And you know, I bumped into her on a post, and I forgot to screenshot her post, but she was actually online bragging about being famous and going viral in that situation. And it just goes to show you, like, you know, people, they don't care about trying to grow personally. No. It's all about how climbing numbers and likes, you know, that temporary high, because you can go viral for that just this minute. And then after that minute diminishes, you don't have anything else to market yourself on. Nah. What are you going to market yourself on?
And now you're face dirty. Now you're face dirty. That's what you know.
And a lot of people don't understand, like, and this is why I say a lot of women, you guys have to stop calling people pick me, because this is the clear definition. If you're going to use a pick me as a poster child, this is a poster child of a pick me. Yeah. Because she's soliciting all her stuff, saying what she can do. It don't move him. And then she comes back and says, well, I got degrees and things like that on top of all the stuff that I do for you. Yeah. You know, that's desperation. That's pick me.
Real
but
talk.
a woman that's on a post with other people, and a guy says, yeah, I like a woman who, you know, comes home and wants to, you know, Netflix and enjoy some fruits and grapes and sip wine. And a woman comes out and says, man, I love stuff like that. That's not a pick me. No. That's just a woman that's sharing common interests with the guy. Yeah. That's it.
That's
so
cool.
You guys got to have clear definition. And what I noticed that a lot of people, especially within the realms of women, You guys like to throw out names and adjectives that just you stick it to whoever you try to stick it to. And a lot of times it don't stick because a lot of it doesn't apply to those people. So have the correct terms for these people and make sure you're applying it correctly to the people itself. And just like we're on this show telling guys to know their worth, women, you got to know your worth as well. You can't just be throwing yourself out there like that. If you know you're a good woman and you know what you bring to the table, a real good woman, we talked about this plenty of times. When a woman of a great caliber steps in the room, niggas tighten the fuck up. Niggas is on it. I'm dusting off and making sure I look good. I'm addressing you like, hi, ma'am. How you doing? I'm not addressing you like, whoa, or shouty or nothing like that. Mm-hmm. You know, when a real woman come in, you a thug or not, you're going to come correct.
Right.
Right. So understand that part of it, and I'll land my plane on that.
That was heartbreaking. What you got, Bobby?
The sad part is, and again, this is really personal for her, because you can tell that the way that she came at him is either the way that she perceives someone like him to go ahead and deal with women, or that's the kind of men that she used to deal with, because the first thing that she came out the gate with. And it's funny because we criticize sisters for leading with certain other things, but that actually wasn't the case for once. She came out with everything else. How about you want someone to suck on you, to hunch on you? Everything that came out of her was the hood of her car, the headlights of her automobile, was her oral on the left headlight, and a coochie on the right headlight.
It was wow.
That's what was bearing down on that poor brother. Man was like, Lord, I'm about to get run over. Let me jump to the side.
Yeah.
And then after he started checking her, and she realized, because the first time she didn't believe it, she's like, what's wrong? I'm actually surprised she didn't try to go ahead and accuse me of being gay, because you know that's the first line to go to.
That's the first.
You
that's the default.
Gay. You don't like pussy? You gay. I'm shocked that didn't come out. She probably had enough sense to not do that.
Probably.
And then as soon as she realized, oh, I just used the wrong bait for the fish I'm trying to land. I done went ahead and put a whole honeycomb on this hook, and I'm trying to land me a lion. Lions don't do honeycomb. Okay. Man. So I do that too. And then she said, I'm educated. Oh, there we go. I cook, I clean everything up. Man. She actually would have been better off with leading with the I'm educated and I have a degree. She actually would have been better off leading with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that all by itself was a problem for different reasons, but she would have been much better off if she led with that, as opposed to take me out the parking lot, open the car door, and I give you the best 15 minutes that you ever had, which is basically what she was saying.
Basically. Yeah. And by the way,
that was basically a Craigslist pitch that she was just talking about. That she forgot what show she was on.
Basically. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, that's the type of man, the way he positioned himself and the way he handled that, that's the type of man you take seriously. That's real. That's how you're supposed to handle situations like that.
And brothers, that's how you're supposed to handle yourself as well, too. And don't get it twisted. There is absolutely nothing wrong with what she was saying. Hear me close. I know some people are gonna cock their heads back and what do you say? Yeah, I said what I said. There's absolutely nothing wrong with any of the things that she said. Nothing wrong. In fact, all of those are pluses. Good to know.
Right.
The problem is, he should not know this. This is not what should be in the banner ad up front. Man don't even know you yet. He doesn't know how old you are. He doesn't know where you were born. He don't know what your favorite color is. He don't know if that's your real hair or not. He don't know if you have if you have a brother or sister. He don't know nothing about you, but he knows exactly the depth of your throat. He knows what your coochie can and cannot do. He knows that you have a birthmark right underneath your right nipple. You know all this stuff. That is super invasive, off top, not even asked for.
Yeah.
No, it's not okay.
crazy.
And
Wow.
this speaks to a number of different issues. I believe it also speaks to how she sees and perceives men to be as well too. That you think that this is what men are interested in, and this is how you appeal to men.
Mm-hmm.
Sis, she and everyone else like her needs a gross re-education.
Real talk.
Because you've been down a horrible. I don't know if it was in your family. I don't know if the women in your family got you thinking this way. I don't know if it's the company that you've been keeping growing up. I don't know if it's the entertainment that you take in. I don't know what it is. But somewhere along the line, the wires were horribly crossed.
Yeah.
And you need some straightening in the worst of ways. Regarding the brothers, this is also a major issue for a number of different reasons, because we have a lot of issues now in our interactions with women, and not just that, but in our interactions in society because of these perceptions. Now, unfortunately, there are thirsty dudes that would hear this, and even if they wouldn't take her seriously for a relationship, they would still take up on the offer and go ahead and get their rocks off with her. And that's still a problem too. One of the issues that I was speaking on was on a post on Dr. Tiasan Johnson's page. He did an excellent job of sharing this post about how it underscored the movie Juice, I believe. And he pointed out a scene I didn't even recognize where Omar Epps' character was in the movie, because remember, they're high school. He was 17. He was being propositioned by a woman who, according to the movie script, was basically in her 30s.
Mm-hmm.
There's some predatory shit that's being displayed here, but no one caught, and it was painfully obvious that this was a young boy and this was an older woman, but nobody caught that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if they were put around, it would have been an issue. And a brother said something very powerful, that it was like a shotgun round right in the chest. And it made me realize that this is true in a lot of different areas, and it's part of the reason why men have so much problems in the legal system, and with people false claiming sexual assault in a number of other areas. He said, until sex from women is no longer seen as a favor and a gift, young boys will never be seen as victims when it comes to sexual assault.
That's deep.
Because because based on the perception, a woman offering her vagina to you, offering her sex, like this sister did, that's a gift. That's a ooh, yay! This is finding the prize in the Cracker Jack bar. This is the golden ticket from the Wonka bar. This is hitting the Powerball.
Yeah,
you got lucky, and we refer to it as that as well too. You got lucky. So therefore, how can a young male who's being sexually assaulted by a woman be a victim? He's getting lucky. Oh man, I wish that was me. Where were these older women when I was growing up?
Real talk. Yeah. I hear people say that.
And then you wonder why when these boys were assaulted. And then that was good. I'm gonna tag y'all brothers in that post. That was very deep. The comments there were very deep. Yes. But there was one brother who, not from a salty butthurt point of view, but from an empathetic point of view, was saying, you know, brothers, I see what y'all are saying, but I honestly don't see this as being a bad thing. You know, this is a good thing, right? And then he asked, okay, so you see it as a gift, as a benefit that's being done. Would you see it the same way if it was an older man coming on to your young son? And we're not talking about a rape perspective. We're talking about your young son. Maybe he's gay or whatever, but he enjoys the encounter with the older man. Would you still see it the same way you did with the older woman? He's like, damn, actually, no, I wouldn't. You know, you're right about that. And then Dr. Johnson weighed in and said, where we currently are in the state of understanding men as victims is we are exactly where women were approximately 50, 60 years ago. Because remember, within that same century, it was still legal, and it wasn't anything wrong with an older adult man, 30, 40, whatever, marrying a 13-year-old girl, a 15-year-old girl. Once a girl had her period, she was seen as a woman, so she could be 15, 16, saddled with a whole host of kids for a man who was 40-something. But nobody had that framework to see girls as victims back then. Now we do. Males are in the same place women were back then. And unfortunately, we have men and women giving pushback on that notion, providing women cover. brothers, we have to stop being slaves to sex, being slaves to our lower nature.
Yep.
There's a whole heap of consequences that come with this in areas that we're just even beginning to scratch and dig on. So when you are propositioned with things of this nature, start thinking beyond this. Wait a minute, if she's coming at me like this, who else should come at like this?
Mm-hmm.
What does she get? She ain't even talking about any STD tests or any testing or what have you. What does she have? Is this a setup? Am I about to get robbed? Is some dude waiting to hit a lick on me when my guard is down? Start thinking beyond getting the nut. It's deeper than that.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Definitely.
That's the smart play. Look, my grandmother always taught me, a man who's a slave to his appetites belongs to the enemy. That's the most shit I ever heard. She started telling me this when I was 4 years old. I was like, Grandma, what you talking about? Shosha, what are you talking about? She kept drilling that in me. And
yes,
as a man, I get it. You know what I'm saying? It stayed with me. And you can't trust people like that. These little old dusty dirtbag, scumbucket dudes who, every little thing, it's a perversion. These niggas spend they check. They don't go every now and again. They don't whatever. No, they spend they check at the strip club every 2 weeks. That's not somebody you can trust. That man is a slave to his perversions. That's what it is. You feel me? And there's nothing admirable about those types of vices. Having those types of qualities, those type of deficiencies. That is something that can be very much to your detriment. How you think these dudes end up out here tricking and getting killed? That article just came out that I posted about earlier today. 8 passport bros gone missing in the last 3 months, dead. Out here tricking
for ransom.
Okay, out here tricking overseas, buying pussy. Let's call it what it is. I'm not one of these people that sugarcoat things. You understand? Some of the passport bros I can kind of get with, but there are levels to passport bros. If you're just saying that American women ain't your cup of tea, or Americanized women ain't your cup of tea because of the way that they behave, and you can find women who you have more in common with abroad, I can understand that. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I can understand it. But when you start, throwing black women under the bus to put women overseas on a pedestal, and then in addition to that, you start just straight up going overseas and just tricking off all your little money on pussy, I can't take anything you say seriously.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You're a slave to your appetites. You're of no use or value to black society because you're not black first. You're bi pussy first. What do we do with you? What do we do with your kind? What do we do with your ilk? Seriously. You can't build anything with people like that.
Yeah.
I'll land my plane because, boy, I could go all day on it. Don't get me started. Okay, go ahead.
This is just really quick. This is one of the times where you can look to some of the classics, films for inspiration. Of course, media, like anything else, has its ups and its lows. And in a moment like this, I can't stop thinking, but like the whole time when you was talking, I just couldn't stop thinking about what Robert De Niro said in Heat. And of course, when I talk about taking it to that level because of the lifestyle he was in, but where he sat down, that iconic scene with Pacino, and he told him, never let yourself get so attached to something that you will be unwilling to walk out on it the minute you feel that heat coming around the corner. He's like, so, and then Pacino's like, so you mean walking from anything? It's like food, women, family, whatever. He's like, you can do it. It's like, that's the discipline. Said it's either that or I better go find something else to do.
Real talk.
Dude. And he's like, I don't know how to do anything else. He said, neither do I. But if you are so succumbing to this stuff, man, that it has a hold on you, understand something. That's an addiction. And I mentioned sexual addiction before.
It's an addiction.
Yeah.
if you are so governed by this, where it rules your life, where you are taking L's behind your hunger, your thirst for this,
Right.
you need to
That's
go get
real.
checked out. And I'm not being funny. I'm dead serious.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some brothers.
That's not normal.
I'm not talking about what I think, what I heard. I'm talking about what I've seen with my own two eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I've spoken to some dudes who literally every week it's some new bullshit that they're in.
Yeah.
They're bleeding money. They can't see their kids.
Right.
They can't keep a woman. Their relationships are ruined in tatters because they have no dick discipline. If it has two legs and a hole in the middle of it, they got to be on it. Don't miss and let it show that it's interested in them. He just got to go.
It's a wrap.
And they got 1,000,001 different excuses and justifications and reasons, all kind of nigga explaining and nigga philosophy. You see, it could be the reason why I have to go and distribute the penis in this fashion is because it is a man's nature to get all kind of nonsense. They got a PhD from MIT in bullshit. In bullshitonomics. And all that highfalutin explanation that they got going on can't do a damn thing to improve their lives. Their lives are a shit fest. It's a septic tank. All because they can't keep it in their drawers. Brothers, if it controls you, if it owns you, then you are not a man. You are a slave. Period.
Correct. All right. So I definitely want to put this stuff together real quick for the fellas. It's very important. There's a difference between, like I said, the future. Let me go back to that real quick. We have future, who is pretty much generating the low energy, don't have any retention on, no penal retention. He's just soiling his raw oats, doing whatever he needs to do. Then you have the guys out here that play the role like Tyrese. They straddle the fence. 1 minute they want you to beg sympathy for them. Next minute they just doing dumb bonehead stuff. You want a wife, but then you're playing around with low grade women. So you're always gonna be on an up and down roller coaster. Those are the type of men out there. Ladies, you guys got to be very, very careful about dealing with these guys, because a lot of times y'all deal with them and then the consequences come back that you end up pregnant, and now you have to deal with that person for 18 years and you can't even deal with them for 5 seconds. And you end up living in a life of hell versus the life of heaven, which is in a healthy relationship, healthy bliss, healthy co-parenting, all of that. You throw all of that out the door just for a night of satisfaction, a night of infatuation, something that looks good for you or your girls, that some of them are cheering you on, and it ends up being detrimental your whole life. Opposed to you getting with somebody like Lorenz Tate, guy who has his stuff together, who's out here married, making sure he's doing the right decisions for himself and his household, putting his best foot forward. That's the type of men that you want to definitely, unite with, to link up with, to basically build with. And remember, Future gets a lot of women because Future is tall. Lorenz Tate is not tall. So a lot of you women running around here asking for 6-foot men, and you want 6-foot men, even if they're toxic, because it just fits your narrative of, I just want a tall man, versus saying, hey, I just want a man. Whatever package he comes in, that is the best package for me, I'll ride with that. And imagine Lorenz Tate's wife is riding with that, and now she's been riding in a healthy marriage. They love upon each other. It's so dope. And that can be your life too if you make the right decisions when it comes to men. All right. I definitely want to say this too, as far as BBLs. Stop saying that men are out here liking BBLs. You women are doing this to compete with other women. There is no man in his right mind that would want a wife that looks like that. It doesn't look good. None of that. You got men out here like Future, those kind of men that don't have any dick discipline or dick retention, and they will want to go and smash it just for the enjoyment of smashing it, but they're not going to wife you. They're not going to cuff you. They're not going to do any of that. You're just a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and move on. You're doing that because you want the attention. You want the perks you get from men and women. You know, you don't, when you go to the strip club and all that, there's women that'll tip you too, and they tip you better than the men. So don't act like it's men out here y'all doing it for. Y'all doing it for gratification from everyone. All right. So don't say that, and men, stop engaging with these women. It don't look right. Stop giving them the attention, because you got to start putting down your foot. And these women, when they see that what they're doing is not garnishing, is not garnering your attraction, is not getting your attention or anything like that, they're gonna stop doing all the foolishness. Stop engaging in bad behavior and watch how fast it clears up. You got women out here you guys got to avoid. These are type of women that you guys got to avoid.
Wow.
Disgusting.
The post-abortion glow, you know, glorifying just killing a child. You know, it's crazy how
People will
women,
post anything, though. They'll post anything online.
yes,
Wow.
and
The post-abortion glow?
yeah. Remember, when we was
I just saw today, you should see the comments under the original post to a whole bunch of women clapping her up, saying, girl, I got mine scheduled on Monday, all kind of disgustingness.
yes. I
Septic
actually
tank.
I have a recorded video from a Instagram woman who went and recorded inside the abortion clinic and got an abortion. And she's very popular. She has a banging body, but it's just so sad that women are out here promoting this bull crap to other women, and now they don't turn it into another parade party. You know what I'm saying? And it's sickening. Fellas, stop giving your seed to these women, because they can kill your child and have the authority to do so if you're not going to go through the legal realms and you have the money to stop them before they do it. But, you know, with this wave of it's my body, I do what I do, you guys are going to suffer in the long run, because that's your child too. You know, it's her body, but that's your child too. It takes two to create a child. So you guys got to stay away from that type of stuff. And, you know your worth, understand what you guys need to do out here. Also, stay away from women like this. Woman breaks up with a man for not fulfilling her requirements. But what it is that her requirements is that she wants to do all these things, you know, just going out and, you know, just going places and trips and all that. And there's nothing wrong with taking a woman out to do that. But women, if you have to establish this up front, because if you get into a relationship with a guy and you're in the hopes of him doing this and he doesn't do it, then you get mad, and now you're calling this man all type of names on the internet when you agreed to sign up for his lackluster behavior or his lackluster efforts from the get-go. And I remember, I think it's something about her dudes never did this before. Now you want this guy to do it. That's fine and dandy, but don't get in a relationship with a guy and then demand him to do things because you're seeing other women getting that type of treatment with other guys doing it as well. So guys, you have to stay away from these type of women, because if you are a person engaging with this type of women and you guys are not on the same page, you end up getting yourself hurt in the long run as well. You know what I'm saying? Because when a woman likes this, is not happy with what you're fulfilling to her, she's going to go get that fulfillment from somebody else. Best believe. She's just not walking out just to be walking out cold feet. She's been building up something on the side. So when she walks out, she got somebody already ready to catch her when she leaps. You see what I'm saying? So make sure that you guys are staying away from that type of stuff. And women that's over 40, you know, who never been married on the dating market, you know, they did a poll on that. and ain't nothing wrong with them. 17% said, and 83% said she failed at relationships. You know what I'm saying? And somebody wrote she had guys checking for her for the last 2 decades and is more likely the one who initiated. You know what I'm saying? So you guys got to understand, go out there, be assertive, put your best foot forward. Ladies, put your best foot forward. Get stuff accomplished at a young age. Stop waiting to in your later years to start doing and demanding and wanting things that you should have built up from the early stages, which would have led to a very successful mid and later life. You know, so make sure you guys are doing that stuff and putting your best foot forward. And guys, stay away from women like this as well.
Of course, I go to OSU. Go Bucks.
All right, bet. How much is $50, $20 bills?
$20 bills. You said $50, $20 bills?
Yeah.
How much is it?
Yeah.
2, 4. You can't do that because only 2 20s is 40.
Yeah.
And then you would have to have a 10 to make it 50.
Like $50, $20 bills.
Oh, 50. To make it what?
Like if you have $50, $20 bills.
Okay.
How much is that?
You can't have a $50, $20 bill.
No, like if you have $50, $20 bills.
Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
You guys got. There's a lot of women out here that look good, and you guys gotta start vetting these women because this, if she's not already somebody's child's mother, she's going to be somebody's child's mother. You know what I'm saying? And you guys got to refrain from engaging with these type of women. Vet these type of women out. Do what you got to do, ladies. You are more than your body. You know, we don't want you to be super egotistical with your education. We don't want you to push that forward, but have some basic knowledge. You know, this is part of the sapiosexual in engagement. We love sapiosexual engagement. We love women who can have great basic conversation. You can't have a conversation that basic right there, and I'm scratching my head, then you're not somebody I'm going to engage with. Fellas, got to do better on that. And I will land my plane on that and let you guys take over from here before we get into our crown check for the night.
Yeah, I'm going to try to make this quick because I know we don't have a lot of time, but I just want to kind of piggyback and co-sign what you're saying. Like, bruh, as far as, you know, the woman with the man who's not meeting her requirements, you know, this is a common thing that I'm seeing. You know, a lot of these women going around on social media for clout because no one asked her, right? You know what I mean? And you know, just putting up these posts, you know, and putting all of their requirements on a list. You know, the list came out a few months ago, and now this is another copycat, monkey see, monkey do list type of thing. And the thing is, like, if a woman is out here, first of all, putting all her requirements on the internet, she's a little too open. You need a sister who's a little more discreet than that. You need a sister who's a little more reserved and who doesn't want to put all her business out there. You know, and she broke up with this guy because he didn't meet her requirements. So now, presumably, in addition to the clout chasing and the desire for attention, now she's trying to find somebody who's going to fulfill her requirements as though she's something special. You know what I'm saying? Again, we go back to what was being said earlier about, you know, sex being seen from a woman as this great thing, this pie in the sky. You know, oh my God, I gotta get that ass, bro. Once I tell this to all the younger guys that I talk to and mentor, whatever the case may be, get used to having pussy. It will pay great dividends up the road. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying go out and bang every chick or whatever the case may be, but get used to having attractive women that you have access to, that you can have sex with. I guess is a better way to put it, because this is kind of the way that I look at it. Because for me, I understand the larger conversation. Once you have a woman interested in you, you gonna hit it. Once she likes you, you gonna hit it. So why are you killing yourself and falling over yourself to do all this ridiculous over the top shit? Once she likes you, you gonna hit it. So relax, be yourself, and don't do too much. Learn what I mean when I say that is learn how to view women, attractive women, as just people. You understand what I'm saying? It will pay great dividends in your life going forward. You got these dudes out here blowing their damn brains out, blowing other dudes' brains out over some damn chick. And the chick goes on about her business after the confrontation is over. She's happy. She's doing her thing. She done went and found somebody else to suck her. Your dumb ass is locked up. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't the business. So fellas, you really got to learn to get used to having attractive women around you, get used to being in their presence, fly yourself up, get your mouthpiece tight so that you blend in with the scenery. See, women are attracted to confidence, and confidence, you'll exude confidence when you look better, when you know how to speak. These type of things make a difference. So when you tighten yourself up like that, you'll notice the type of women that you pull is going to go up a few notches. And then just hang. Sometimes it's good to just hang out with women, just so you can feel them out, know what they're thinking, understand how they move, and so forth and so on. Some things you can only get a feel for when you do them up close. You can't do it from afar. So, those are just a couple of bits of wisdom I like to instill in some of y'all young cats. Don't get out here acting a damn fool over a piece of ass, because at the end of the day, you meet a couple special women in life, but you're going to meet a lot of women, at least to you, that's just a piece of ass. And you don't want to jump out the window and do nothing crazy over a woman like this low quality chick that was trying to holler at Waka Flocka or some of the other low quality chicks that we've discussed. It just ain't worth it. And ladies, like Aunt said, you are more than your body. You know what I'm saying? You really are. I want to see women start to cherish themselves and respect themselves, acknowledge and appreciate their natural beauty. I hardly see that. It's becoming increasingly rare. And I say to guys out here, let that be part of your vetting process. The first 15 minutes that I talked to my wife, I asked her, how often she wears her natural hair. You know what I'm saying? And does she wear excessive makeup? I asked all these questions within the first 15 minutes, because if she answered any of those incorrectly, it would have been done. And you have to have that mentality, fellas, going in. You have to have that mentality like, I'm the prize. You kind of got to feel that way, because you're the one who's going out here doing all this work to get this woman, and you don't want to mess around and get her, and then she ain't even what you been looking for. You know what I'm saying? It don't even make sense. It's counterproductive. And, as far as ladies, don't let these old lady saboteurs destroy your life and make your life shitty like theirs. I know a bunch of them. Catch young. Don't go pissing off your 20s and letting some sorry nigga waste your youth. Don't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't do it. Get you a quality guy while you're at your peak value.
Exactly.
Do that and hold on to him, and y'all build together. Not only that, not only will you have a quality guy that you were able to attract when you were at your point where you were best able to, but y'all can build together. You pool your resources. Now, instead of you living alone off one income, y'all living together, you got two incomes. You got two minds that are working on solutions to problems. You can buy a home early. How many people out here in Dade County right now bought homes early because they were married early, bought homes 10 years ago for $150,000, and those houses are worth $2.5 million now. Don't let these old fools teach you how to lose. And I'll land my plane. I don't want to. I could go on all day, but that's just what I wanted to say. Okay.
Well said. Well said. Go ahead, Drake.
Look, I have forever and always used the analogy of the casino when it comes to this concept.
Mm-hmm.
Women have to learn how to better gamble. You walk in the casino, unlike men, you walk into the casino, and for the most part, you have your chips. You've got your $100 chips, your $50 chips, your 20s, your 10s, your 5s. You got your chips right there. You are already ahead of the game. Now, it's possible that you can afford to sit at the table for a little bit and gamble. You can roll the dice, you can pick your cards or what have you. You can do your thing for a brief amount of time and possibly come up. But the best gamblers are the ones who are able to recognize when the luck has been switched off, when they're on the downside, and now they're starting to lose more money than what they're gaining. Now, one of the things that gets people caught up, it's not always the case of if you gamble or whatever, you just lose. It's not always that. What happens is if you miss and go bad 2 or 3 times, for the people that don't know how to manage their bankroll, they don't know how to manage the table or whatever that is the playing right, the mind starts hesitating, starts panicking. So the free thinking, their ability to go off of the instinct or the sense or whatever it is that they got going on in their favor, whatever, that starts to go shaky now because now they're doubting. And so the way they go about making decisions and making choices and picks, even how much money they're going to put up, that shifts now because now they're playing scared. They're playing, well, I don't want to lose. And so now they make the wrong choice, they lose again, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now they're in free fall mode. They're trying their best to make the money back. Well, it's okay. I can just keep playing until I get my money back. And before long, they're at $0. They end up leaving the table with nothing to show for their time there. Whereas the smart gambler, he realized, you know what, I've taken 2 or 3 hits, or maybe even in some cases I've taken that 1 hit if it's significant enough. That's enough for the day. I've had my time. Time to mosey off. Too many women are sitting at the table because they were lied to and told that you have forever and a day to hit the lotto, and it doesn't happen. And that's why that graphic I was shared before about a woman in her 40s is so significant. It's not to say that at your 40s everything is over, but the reality is between 20 to 40, virtually every single woman, if she's honest with herself, don't be honest with me. I'm nobody. You don't owe me a damn thing. But if she's honest with herself and she's honest with God, she knows that she had at least 1 or 2 solid men. 1 or 2 that were available to her. Some of them had more than that. But she at least had 1 or 2 solid men. And for one reason or another, she did not play her cards right. And she lost out. And I hear women talking about how some women who are honest and transparent enough to acknowledge, I had a really good man, I dropped the ball, or I didn't do it right, I didn't take it seriously, or I thought I had time to kill. And when I circled around the block, came back, he was gone on doing his own thing. He moved, or he settled down with a wife and kids. Now that could have been me. It happens. And I know women talk about these stories with each other too. The reality is a lot of the things that are prioritized early don't have an expiration date. If you look into the things that at any point in time, you can go back to school, you can go to school, you can get a degree. You can go ahead and get a master's degree, you can get a PhD. At any point in time, you can do that. Hell, you got people who are senior citizens going and getting their GED. There is no statute of limitations on acquiring those things. That's not to say that you have to completely table that altogether, but if you're in school, you're in college, you're pursuing your education, trying to go ahead and get in your career field or whatever, you should be able to multitask. Don't lose everything and lose track. You should be able to chew bubblegum and walk at the same time. But while you're in school, Tribe attracts tribe. Who else is there on the same mission as you? Who's there in med school? Who's there in an engineering program? Who's there in finance and accounting? Who's there in a field of study that you know is going to be fruitful, that you know is going to pay dividends? This is someone who's on the right track. They have a vision. They're showing discipline and focus, because in those areas, you can't be a slouch in those fields. It's either you're going to be able to succeed or you're going to be over your head.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point in time, there's really no expectations of either one of you. All these expectations you're putting out, well, he has to go ahead and pay for trips all over the world. He has to go ahead and pay 400% of the bills and everything. You all are both equally broke and busted in college.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have, at this point, it's already delusion otherwise, but you were completely asinine if you're thinking a brother trying to go ahead and deal with student loans and FAFSA is going to be able to provide for you. But that keeps things in its proper perspective. It's a neutral playing field. All that other stuff that gets in the way, it doesn't apply. It's the perfect time and opportunity to go ahead and meet somebody. And then you graduate, you all still together, you guys are working together, going through the ranks, and before long, you both end up where you want to be or where you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that. But they want to have hot girl summer until they're 35.
That's another thing.
It don't work like that.
Let's be honest. Can we be honest? This whole concept of going out to college to discover yourself, or at least discover yourself in this sense, can we be honest and say that that's not really all it's cracked up to be?
It ain't.
Can we be honest at the fact that women are saying these things, and what they're doing is during this time, they're running into some of the worst caliber of men who are completely focused on the wrong things?
Promoted in our culture.
Most of the horror stories they have about men and the negative viewpoints they have of men come from this period of finding themselves. Yes, you're finding yourselves with dudes that are looking to run through you and treat you like a car wash.
Real talk.
And now here you are in your elder years, still looking at men the way that you learned to look at them back in those college days. But the fact is, if you were not putting yourself out there the way you were, you could have minimized your encounters. Which means you can minimize your trauma, minimize your negative experiences, and have a more healthy, well-rounded perception of men and relationships, and as a result, how you navigate and operate in them, and how you see different individuals.
Yeah.
We have to think. We have to do better. Be mindful of these things. Win early. There's nothing wrong with winning early. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no glory to be had in at the very last second you snatched victory from the jaws. That's overrated.
If you get lucky.
Yeah, if you get lucky. Yeah, I survived. And yeah, look how all the cuts and bullet wounds and the stab wounds you got. You got dog bites in your ankle and everything. You just made it, though. Meanwhile, the other person, they've been to the finish line. Casually get their nails done. What took you so long?
I seen a video of white girls last week at their graduation, all showing off their engagement rings. All showing off their engagement rings. It went viral.
Sisters was hot.
A group of white girls, and it's like, why you hot, dumbass? You need to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's not nothing to get hot about. You need to be exhibiting that behavior. And look, I'm not one to say that we should be doing what they're doing. But when you see something that makes sense and that's going to add value to your life, yeah, you can think about emulating that behavior no matter what group it's from. See, but the problem is, and I'll land here so you can get into the queen check, sisters don't see getting married early as a win. That's the problem. And you can go ahead. You did that. That's the problem.
Maybe getting a good man is a win. They think of it as something. Well, we spoke on this earlier as well too, about how they perceive men as being beneath them in a lot of cases.
Correct.
Spoke about this earlier. So therefore, getting a man, even if he's a good man, isn't anything to brag about. That's not a big deal. And when one doesn't make itself manifest in your life, then you wonder why that is. Self-fulfilling prophecies.
Yeah, women, you guys got to understand, like, as far as when it comes to you know, these men, you gotta understand the type of guys you're dealing with. Go and get that catch early, recognize, do the vetting, lock him down, go out, be solidified, build a family, build a legacy, and y'all will be on point. Otherwise, you're gonna get, like I said, we had Tyrese in there, and then you got Tyrese that come out saying some silly shit like this. Sometimes I wish I was born Latino. I mean, the Latino community is grounded in family, loyalty, entrepreneurs, businessmen, women, literally represent the dream, the grind, the hustle, doing whatever it takes to stick together against all odds. And that is a person that we talk about before, that I know Drake talked about before, with mental illness um, as part of his problems. But you know, when you say stuff like that, you're not being real, because a lot of Black people do the same. We've been doing that for years, being businessmen, being businesswomen, you know, Black Wall Street. So if you want to talk about stuff and you bring that stuff up around Black History Month, you know, it's kind of a slap in the face, because the Black Wall Street, that's all we had. We had that for a long time, going up to like the late 60s, going into the early 70s. That's when all that greatness that we had broken up. But we still didn't deter from that. We still have people out here that's doing great, phenomenal things, building great legacy with couples out here. You got Major, who just got married, and he's gonna build a big legacy with his family. You know what I'm saying? So they got people out here that's doing great things. So don't go around and buy into anything about I wish I was another race, because that's just another self-hating, low self-esteem person. And there's a lot of low self-esteem men out here. Women, you have to walk away from those type of men. Don't give those guys none of your desired fruit. They don't deserve it, and it's gonna only cause you problems in the long run, because when you're fighting yourself and you're fighting your demons, then the demons and him are gonna jump you. So don't even get in that situation. We had our brother up here who did a phenomenal job. We got to get Lamonte back up here again. One of the reasons we're seeing so much dysfunction in dating and relationship space is because we neglect to teach our sons and nephews that their penis is valuable. The way we teach our daughters and nieces that their vagina is. And I think we have to do a very better job to start letting our young boys know that your stuff is valuable. Don't just give it away to any and anybody. You know, use it as a possession of royalty. You know, only a chosen few will ever get to ride this love, this soul glow, this soul pole. All right, we got to get on that level. Last, before I get into the crown check, this gentleman started something that I thought was super dope. He wants to start a new challenge for the fathers to keep their children for 30 days without asking for any help. I think that's a great challenge. If you are up for the challenge, if your child's mother will allow you to take the baby for 30 days, then go ahead and do that challenge. It'll be a point of view. It'll let you see where you stand as the other half of the parent. I think that challenge would be so great because you just never know when the other parent might transition. This world's going crazy. People are having untimely deaths. So train yourself up that if you have to be the sole parent, you can handle that. And I think that 30 days will give you a general gist of what you need to do, or how you can handle the situation if something like that was to occur. Definitely going to our queen check of the night. I pre-did that real quick. So we're going into our crown check for the night. And our crown check is a super dope individual that I thought the story was super, super dope. And it is a young girl by the age of 16 years old. It's going viral for being the youngest teacher in the U.S. And she has 3 degrees. So I've talked about this plenty of times before. The energy, the everything that you put into your children, you will see the production of it in the long run. I know that her parents have surrounded her with great resources and support. and have been putting all of that into her probably before birth, probably in the womb. You know, a lot of people talk or do what you call it, they read to them and things like that, and then they come out and give them additional information and teaching them ways at a very young age and not talking to them like a child and giving them words that are pretty much used amongst adults. And that's probably what put on the path to be that successful young teacher. All right. So definitely her name is Shania Muhammad, a 16-year-old girl from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, who already has 3 college degrees and became America's youngest full-time salary teacher. She is currently teaching the 3rd grade at a school in her hometown. Although some saying she's too young, Shania has proved herself to be more than qualified for the job. She holds a bachelor's degree in early childhood development and also earned 2 degrees from the Oklahoma City Community College. Phenomenal young woman, and that is our crown check for tonight. And I hope you guys really, really enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed the show, and I hope you guys took in the great gems and information. You guys, I'm gonna land my plane and send it over to my fellows so they can basically carry us out tonight. All right.
All right, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Real quick again, we way over. Happy Black History Month. You know, I want to encourage everybody out there, you know, to do the antithesis of what Tyrese is doing and embrace your culture, embrace your identity, embrace who you are. You know, we got a lot of self-hating Negroes out here, quiet as it's kept. That's the reason why we can't make a lot of the progress that we need to make, because you got too many handkerchief head Negroes out here, you know, that just they just don't they just don't fit the bill, man. They're useless. What do you do with a nigga like that? Really? You know what I'm saying? You can't build anything with people like that. And the thing is, if you have people like that in your midst, in your space, you just got to get them from around you, man. Like, a lot of y'all out there are very, you know, intelligent people, upward bound people. You can do a lot. You know what I mean? You can move and shake. You can get out here. But, bruh, if you have Sambos like this around you, talking about he wish he was Latino, he chose to tweet that bullshit, by the way, on the first day of Black History Month. You can't get more coonish than that. It's just not possible. You can try, but you can't get to be much more of a coon than that. And y'all wonder why I gave his ass a hell no. Bruh, that's why. You know what I'm saying? This guy is the gift that keeps on giving. He does this shit all the time. You know, I just urge everybody, get out there this year, this Black History Month, and go out of your way to contribute to support Black businesses, to spend money with Black businesses. Go out of your way to find a worthy Black cause to contribute to. Go out of your way to find something new that you involve yourself in that supports the Black community as a whole. And I'm tired of this splintered off bullshit. You know what I mean? Where, you know, oh, I'm not Black, I'm other. I'm not Black, I'm this. I'm not Black, I'm gay. I'm not Black, I'm Trinidadian. I'm not Black. We Black. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of this so-called rift between Black Americans and Black people from other countries is that Black people from abroad, from the diaspora, tend to try to distance themselves from Black Americans. And that's where the I'm not Black comes in. I'm not Black, I'm this. I'm not Black, I'm that. We're all Black at the end of the day. That is what should bind us together, you know, and I would like to see more people come out of that coon mindset, you know, and just come to the table in good faith so that we can all build. People always talk about how we all need to just come together. That's bullshit. We don't all need to just come together unless we got our minds right and we're coming together in the right spirit, in the spirit of building and progressing. Other than that, you just talking about a bunch of people sitting in the same room twiddling their damn thumbs. That ain't moving shit. That ain't helpful to nobody. And so, let's try to focus on that this Black History Month. And I want people to come out of their comfort zones and come to other Black people in the spirit of cooperation and collective work and responsibility. And let's build. I'll land my plane.
Well said. Well said.
100.
Bobby, wrap us.
Yes, sir. Big shout out to Sister Shania Muhammad. That's amazing.
That's amazing.
You go, girl. I know the future looks so bright for you. Of course, there's no such thing as an accomplishment without the naysayers and detractors. And I did see some people talk about how she's too young to be a teacher, saying that, why she got those degrees for? She's just going to be a teacher. Completely being ignorant and neglecting to understand the idea that, yes, she's teaching now. However, the gateways that's going to open to her later on, once she's old and of age and has the experience of being in the classroom and catering to the educational needs of children, she is going to be the Michael Jackson of education administration very early on. Who knows how far she's going to be able to go. I'm looking down the line and I'm seeing this sister being an influential voice and force in much, much needed overhaul to educational practices, policy and legislature, really making a huge difference in changing the way education looks for the people in Oklahoma and hopefully the country as a whole. So I see the highway is wide open right now. It's like nothing but express lane, no cops, no speed limits, and baby girls in a Bugatti. So I hope she tears the road open and owns it, and she does it to the fullest. Big support. Much love to you, sister. Proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. Big ups, mom, dad, and family. To finish it off, understand who and what it is you're following behind and what you're paying attention to. Everybody has the right to speak, but not everybody has the right to be heard.
Real talk.
We need to start getting in 2024, and it's the perfect time for it too. We need to start becoming very, very prejudiced and discriminatory and scrutinizing about what we allow to pass through our ears. Our senses, period. What we're looking at, what we're taking in, what we're eating, what we're drinking, what we're hearing. We need to become very discerning about what it is that we're intaking, because everything that appears to be good ain't good. Some stuff that looks like chocolate is really laxative. All right. I knew you'd love that, but I was just for you, bro. But on a serious note, a lot of people really are screaming for attention, but they don't have anything worth taking into. I saw a brother say today, and I've heard Jason Black say before, that a lot of us really have a talking problem. When you get together, especially when you have spaces where people come together to come up with solutions and think and brainstorm, you have some people that are there to put in work, but you got some people that are just there for attention. Mm-hmm. They see a gathering of people and a microphone, and rather than come and bring something of value, something constructive, productive to the forefront, they just want to come up there and, hi, is this thing on? Well, hey, look at me. My name's Jonathan. I like long walks on the beach. I like sand, but all kind of nonsense that has nothing to do with the subject at hand, but they just need attention.
Right.
They need to feel seen and feel heard, because probably they haven't had much of that in their life. We have to recognize when people who have nothing of value to say or contribute are present, and we need to collectively turn our backs to them and focus on the people in the room that have something to say that actually matters. There is no reason on God's big blue and green marble that a Krishan Rock should be able to have women following behind her like she's the Pied freaking Piper of Hamelin. That is asinine.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
This woman who has, we're not talking about Blueface now. We're talking about her and what she's doing with her area of responsibility. We're talking about a woman who has smoked and drank during her pregnancy, who has completely shown herself to be devoid of proper mothering instincts and care. Yeah. and who steadily chases after a man that is the epitome of garbage truck juice.
Real talk.
And this is the person that you're trying to take anything. I don't care if it's tips on how to go ahead and throw a dead goldfish in the toilet. This is who you want to hear anything from?
Insane.
Ooh. I just know your whole mental landscape is a giant wasteland. I know that.
Yeah.
I don't have to think twice. Start being discerning about who it is that you're giving your ear time to. Because unfortunately, it's not just a one-way transaction. When you feed into these numbskulls, and you saw her there bragging before about how she's getting all this engagement, all the followers she's losing, the number of views she has. These people are being done a disservice themselves, because if they were not famous, it would be very easy to just go and get them Baker acted.
Right.
Get them into some forced help, some therapy, hit them with a whole intervention to get them the health and the treatment that they need. Unfortunately, because they're famous and they have a little bit of paper, they're suffering from a lack of people around there that's going to get in their ass, hold their feet to the fire, and tell them what they need to hear, because people are too busy trying to go ahead and get their next break or keep on getting a handout. So they're trying to do whatever they can to get the wheels continually spinning. Yeah. So we need to do a better job in 2024 of being discerning and discriminating with what we give an audience to. See yourself as valuable, and see your attention span, your eyeballs, your ear time. See that as being of tremendous value. You have Fortune 500, Fortune 100, Fortune 50 companies out here who are literally fighting, waging war against one another, competing to get your 3 seconds of viewership, to get your clicks, to get your likes, to get your responses.
Yeah.
That should tell you that your attention is valuable. Stop giving it away to the lowest common denominator. Take control back of your power. We'll catch y'all next week, same time, same place in this space. Make sure, meanwhile, that you like, subscribe, you share, tell somebody about these somebody's trying to do something out here. Love y'all. We'll catch y'all. Be well.
Definitely. See you guys next week. We're up out of here. I do want to say this before we leave. Shout out to Killer Mike for doing a hell of a job. He just received 3 Grammys tonight. Tonight's the Grammy nominees. That's probably why everybody's watching and came on here super late. But definitely wanted to give Killer Mike's new album, which is a phenomenal album, one of the best albums to ever drop to date. And you guys check it out if you haven't. But he won 3 Grammys off of it. And guess what white supremacy did? They waited till after he got the 3 Grammys and put him in handcuffs.
Of course they did.
It's a sad situation. They always got to dirty you up when you do something good, because remember, Killer Mike fights against the system. And for him to fight against the system and win Grammys of people that are with the system, they can't even win it. That's a little slap in their face, and they had to get back retaliation, and that's part of their retaliation. So we'll speak more about that. You guys go out here and enjoy your night. Thank you for tuning in with us. Hope you took in all these gems. And ladies, make sure that you're vetting these guys and not picking low energy men. And fellas, y'all do the same thing with the women, not picking low energy as well. All right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
We out here.
On the album, we do things like songs that are a little, what we call sexy. You can see from the title, it's more of a love album.